Guys, what's up, welcome back to my channel. This is M Williams. This is Sugar Salon TV. We're going to jump right in today. So yesterday, you guys, I did an upload because I see the need. I saw my other video about how to go to cosmetology school without, or how to get your cosmetology license without going to school. I saw that video that's doing pretty good. And then I just put one up here yesterday on my channel. I uploaded about Salon Suites, like why are they so popular? Like, why are they blowing up? Why are they phenomenal? Why are they doing the most? So you guys, today want to do one. I felt the need to do one for salon owners because I don't want to just leave them out there. I was once a salon owner myself in a storefront salon. So I don't want to leave you guys just high and dry because I know it can be very, very, very challenging to try to, first of all, hire hairstylists. Second of all, retain hairstylists. Third of all, I mean, the list can just go on and on. So I'm going to be very brief here, but I just felt a need to go out here and just support some of the brick and mortar salon owners, which I was for like 13 years, you guys. So I feel like I've kind of earned my stripes and I can just get on here and try to help you guys as much as I can. Today, you guys, I just briefly this morning want to talk about if you own a brick and mortar hair salon, how in the world can you compete with those who own like Salon Suites? Like how can you compete with them? It's a challenge, you guys, to be honest, and I have not had a storefront salon in a little over 3 years now, almost 4 years. But you know, as we saw yesterday, which I did not know, that the salon suite industry started in Dallas, Texas, about a little bit over 30 years ago. So I didn't even know that it started that far back, because I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm not in Dallas, Texas. So it started with the Salon Suite started in Dallas, Texas. I'm going to put that little article back up there that I had up yesterday in the other video. And I'm going to drop the other video down in this description box below so you can view that if you like. But it started a little bit over 30 years ago in Dallas, Texas, Salon Suites. So anytime you own a brick and mortar, you got a salon in a strip plaza, and you may have like over 1,000 square feet or something like that. I had like 1,080 square feet, and you trying to bring in booth rental hairstylists to pay you a weekly rent. You know, that's probably 9 times out of 10 that's going to be your business model. That's going to be what you want to do. You want to bring in people who can do booth rental. I opened my storefront, my husband and I, in 2008. And I had been out of the hair industry for 22 years. So I was going back in, kind of really, really green. So what I discovered when we opened the storefront in 2008, and something else that happened big in 2008 was the recession. So maybe like a few months after we opened the storefront, the recession started. So you guys, I can give another video about all I went through trying to open the salon. You know, at that time, how did I survive? And I can do another video on that. This one, I want to keep it specifically on how, if you own a brick and mortar salon, how can you compete with the Salon Suites? Okay, one thing is, you guys, if you own a brick and mortar hair salon, you're gonna see at some point, you know, probably going in before you get it, when you're thinking about opening one, you're not really thinking, okay, it's gonna be hard for me to get hairstylists, it's gonna be a challenge. But to be honest, it is gonna be. And I'm not trying to put a damper on things. I just think that you can be proactive if you know stuff in advance. In my opinion, it is going to be a challenge. Now, it depends on what structure you are. My whole business model and business plan was to open up and be a booth rental salon where the stylists are paying me weekly to work and rent a booth in my salon. They're paying me weekly. They're responsible for bringing their own clients. They're responsible for buying their own products. They're responsible for taking payments from their clients. Only thing I do is provide a place and a space for them to work at, a clean place, a place where they can come, where they can pay me weekly. But you guys, that was in my brain, but that's not actually what happened. Because when I opened, 3 months later, the recession started. I don't know if that was a reason, but to be honest, I think that's just how it is overall. I don't think that was a reason. It could have been part of the reason, but I think the reason that I had a challenging time finding booth rental hairstylists. So booth rental hairstylists, they would be considered stylists who already have a clientele. They already got a book of business. They're making enough money where they can pay their car note, they can pay their house note, they can pay their rent in their apartment or townhouse, they can pay all their financial responsibilities that they have, as well as maybe daycare, other stuff like that. But at the same time, they can pay you a weekly rent. And so for them to be able to do all of that stuff that I just named, they definitely have to have enough clientele that's coming in on a regular basis so that they can have enough revenue coming into their pocket so that they can pay me, you, or whatever other brick and mortar salon owner. They can pay a weekly rent. Now, everybody's not in that situation because a lot of people may not have enough clientele yet. They may have just came out of cosmetology school. They may not have a book of business yet. They may have just started. They may be a starter stylist where they're just starting out. Or, it could be a number of reasons. They may have had a big clientele but lost some of them because they move around a lot. Or they may have had it where they had clients and then they don't retain them because, they still learning how to do hair, or they may be late or not on time a lot, or other things to do with their professionalism. So it could be a plethora, a variety of reasons why. And I'm not on here trying to bash hairstylists. I'm a stylist too, so I'm not trying to do that. But I am trying to impart and be transparent and give information as to why this may be occurring. So even if people are in those situations that I just named, they still are going to want to go into a salon suite as opposed to a brick and mortar. They still, even if they just came out of school, they still going to want to go in a salon suite. Even if they just got their license, they still going to want to go in a salon suite. Even if they just started doing hair or whatever they doing in the service industry, they are still going to want to go into a salon suite. So if you have a brick and mortar salon, like, what can you do to try to draw them in? You have to be inventive. You have to be, in your brain. You have to be willing to do the most, because it is very, 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 and I have not had a storefront in over 3 years, but it is very, very, very competitive if you are trying to compete against salon suites, if you have a brick and mortar, because everybody wants to have a salon suite. So I don't have any notes written down. I'm just doing this off the cuff. I'm just doing this out of my head. I'm just doing this out of my heart, this video. And so, in all honesty, I feel like you got to do the most. To be honest, you guys, you probably got to get some starter stylists, or you got to bring in some stylists who just starting out, because they're more willing to listen. They're more willing to be patient. They're more willing to kind of stay with you. They're more willing to be mentored. They're more willing to kind of stay and kind of grow. So, that's why a lot of brick and mortar salons, a lot of times they try to get apprentices, or they offer apprenticeship so that they can bring in, and a lot of times they may go to cosmetology schools and try to get new stylists who are just about to graduate. So, you got to think of stuff like that. You got to really focus on the starter hairstylists, the new hairstylists, the fresh, brand new ones. As a salon brick and mortar owner, you have to focus on them. And the reason I say that you need to focus on them, because those are going to be the main stylists that you bring in, that you're going to be able to bring in my opinion. I'm giving my opinion. So you got to go ahead and focus on that. Of course, you want to bring in seasoned stylists, because they'll be able to pay you a booth rent and all that. Any brick and mortar salon owner will want to bring in seasoned hairstylists who got years of experience, who already has a clientele, yada da, the whole nine, the kit and caboodle. But in all honesty, you're not going to be able to get a storefront full of those seasoned hairstylists. So focus on where the masses are. Focus on where you feel it's going to be advantageous to you. Focus on what you know is real. And so for real, you're going to have to bring in new stylists, and you're going to have to bring in starter stylists. So if you get you maybe like three starter stylists, new stylists, you can mentor them, you can train them, you can bring them in. They're going to be willing to stay longer with you if you're willing to do those things for them. Because when you come out of cosmetology school and you get behind a chair and you're working on real clients who have a higher expectation, then you're going to be nervous as a new stylist. You're not going to be confident at all. So you as the salon owner, you can give them the confidence, you can give them the constructive feedback, you can give them the training, you can help them. Now, you can do all of that, but at the same time, people are already going to have in their mind like how long they want to stay. So you have to already know, as a brick and mortar hair salon owner, that you're not going to keep people forever. Like at my salon, I was able to retain people up to 5, 6, 7 years. That was nothing but the favor of God, because it's most stylists don't want to stay in a brick and mortar that long. You have to be given a substantial amount of support for them to stay that long, because the ultimate goal is to get their own. That's the ultimate goal. It's rare that you're going to hear a hairstylist not wanting to get their own. The only way you might hear that is if they already had their own, and then they're going to be saying, I don't want my own. But if they have not yet had their own salon, they're going to want it. And so, not saying that, it's going to be all that lucrative when you get your own. And I'll make another video about that, like how lucrative is it to own a storefront salon? But that'll be a different video. So again, in my opinion, you need to focus on the new stylists, the starter stylists. You can also try to draw in, because there's a lot of stylists that I found in the industry that did hair and then they stopped doing hair, or they went to school and they stopped, or they finished cosmetology school but they didn't go get licensed. So those few group of people in the hair industry, you can try to market to some of those. You got to do some unorthodox things, because at the same time, you don't want to have this 1,080 square feet of space, or this 1,500 square feet of space, or this 1,800 square feet of space, or however much space you have, and then there's nobody in there but you. I mean, because that wouldn't make any sense at all. You're going to be at a loss just going in. So you have to have the mindset going in before you even open your storefront, or even now after you've opened it. You have to have the mindset that, okay, let me try what this lady is saying, what I'm saying, and just try to go after some of the new ones in the industry, because you guys, they're the ones that's going to want to stay with you a little longer. If you bring in people who are seasoned in the industry, they're probably coming because they're trying to try out a new location, because they already got a clientele. So they're either just trying to leave the salon they were at. They didn't like that salon anymore. They're not quite ready to hop into a salon suite, because those are pricey. They're trying to try out a new location. It's going to be some type of reason like that, which is rare, that you can get a seasoned hairstylist. But again, just know if you get you one or two seasoned hairstylists that's been doing hair a long time, they got years in the industry, they're licensed, they're professional, they already got a big clientele, they can pay you the rent on a weekly basis. Those hairstylists, they're going to be just kind of passing through. So if you already have that in your mindset that, okay, I'm blessed to have this one or two seasoned stylists, but I know they're going to be passing through. Once you get your stylists who are, new to the industry, they're starter stylists, and you start mentoring them and helping them build a clientele and learning about hair and doing classes with them, taking them to hair shows, doing everything you possibly can to impart into them. Now, once you do all the impartation, there's nothing to guarantee you that they're going to stay. Because that's the thing about it, you can't make anybody stay. You can't beg anybody to stay. Once somebody decides that they're going to leave, they're going to leave. And a lot of time in this industry, people will leave in droves. Pretty much meaning if this one over here decides to leave, then this one might tell the other one, and then the other one, and then the other one. And then sometimes you can get it where 2 will leave at one time, 3 will leave at one time. They'll all leave back to back. That happens a lot in the service industry. So you always want to make sure that you're prepared for that, because you just never know when somebody's going to leave. So in my opinion, I think you should always be hiring, and you should always, if you are helping starter stylists out, then once you get them up to where you feel they have more confidence, then you need to kind of start breaking loose, breaking free, and then start making it a part of them staying and your help with them, making it to where they are helping themselves. Because if you're doing it all and they're not really doing anything to help build up their own self, it's going to be really easy for them to leave, because what are they going to lose if they leave? They're not going to lose anything. So whenever you're invested into a situation, then it's harder to leave, because if you invest into the situation, then you know that when you leave, you're at a loss too. Not just the owner, but you too, because you invested. You've been out here passing out cards and flyers for the salon with the salon logo on it. You've been out here, marketing day and night on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and everywhere else. You've been out here doing that. So if you have stylists and you require them, okay, I'm going to help you do this, I'm going to help you do that, because I know you just starting out, but you got to do X, Y, and Z. So it's not where you're enabling them, it's where you're helping them. Because what I've learned in life is that if you don't require someone, if someone is not imparting and they're not investing in a situation, it's easy for them to walk away. Because if they haven't put no money in it, no time in it, no effort in it, haven't brought any clients in for themselves, haven't really marketed for themselves, haven't had any requirements or anything that you're requiring them to do, then at the end of the day, it's easy for them to walk away, because guess what? They haven't invested in it at all. They haven't invested in it at all. So it's going to be easy for them to say bye-bye, 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 because at the end of the day, once they're gone, what have they lost? They haven't lost nothing. They have not lost Nathan. They haven't lost anything. So you're going to be stuck with no stylist in the 1,500 square feet space. So you got to think wisely. And then these are different generations out here. Every generation thinks differently. Not saying anything is wrong with this generation. I'm just saying every generation thinks differently. My generation thinks differently. The generation before me probably said something about my generation. The generation after me thinks differently. Generation after, Gen X, Gen Z, Gen whatever, millennials. Every generation has a different thought process. So we who are older or from a different generation who may never do some of the stuff that some of the other generations would do, we have to learn how to think out of the box and think about who we have to be able to relate to these other generations, because if we don't, hindsight gonna end up being 2020. Because if you just think that people gonna do this and do that and do the third because you wouldn't do this, that, or the third, we talking about different generations. So when you run a business, you have to run it in a way that you're thinking wisely and you're thinking about the age group and the generation and how they relate to things, because they may feel like all the help you gave them, they may feel like, okay, yeah, you gave me the help, but that's what you're supposed to do because you're the owner. That may be how they may feel. But my generation will feel like, oh, I'm going to be loyal to this person because they out here helping me and all of this. So different generations think differently and relate to stuff differently. So not saying it's good or bad, not saying you think bad of other generations. I'm just saying it is what it is. So that's what y'all like to say, but just don't forget it. So you always have to make sure that you're trying to gain new stylists by always set a schedule to where you try to hire new stylists about, I would say maybe every 6 months that you're hiring, you trying to hire at least one new person. Because if you just help the same people all the time and you're not consistently bringing in new people, then the older ones that you brought in first, they're going to feel some type of way when you do start bringing in new people if you wait too long. If they see that you operate your business in a way that, okay, I'm bringing you in, I'm helping you, but at the same time, you got to help yourself. And at the same time, I'm helping myself in my business because I'm continually hiring new artists, new stylists, new professionals. And you have to keep doing that, because if you just hire new ones and you just totally rely on them, at some point they may start feeling some type of way, like you only making money off of me kind of thing, or she only blowing up because of me. So you have to also, in the meantime, while you're helping them, you got to be doing something to help yourself and your business to grow by continuously having job fairs, continuously bringing in new talent, continuously having demonstration days. Like I used to do these things called demo days, where I would just let stylists, I would pick a day like a Sunday or a Monday and just let people come in, do a demonstration for me. They would either bring, 9 times out of 10, they would bring a live model with them, or they would bring a mannequin, and they would just come in and demonstrate what their talent is so that I can see where their skill set level is. And then I can let them know if I had positions available. It's all kind of unorthodox ways that you can do things. You got to think outside of the box. You got to think out of the norm. And some of us old heads who came from cosmetology school back in the day, sometimes it's a challenge for us to do that. But you got to think of new ways of doing things, unorthodox ways of doing things. You can have like job fairs, career fairs. You've heard of job fairs. You can have a day where you do it every quarter, and you can just have like a little open house. You can call it an open house. And then, you can invite stylists, nail techs, people in the service industry. You can invite them over. You can hit them up on social media. It's so much more easy now. And you can just tell them, okay, send them an invitation to your open house, and you're going to be hiring. You're going to have refreshments. You're going to be playing music kind of thing. It's going to be very lighthearted. They can come by. If they're not currently looking for a salon, they may know somebody who is. They can pass it on. You can market it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of that. And people can come in and actually see your salon on a day when it's closed, and you can invite them back another day. Those who are interested, they can come by on the day that it's open, so they can see, you guys in real time. It's all kind of unorthodox things that you could do that I used to do at my salon, and it pretty much worked. So I'm going to do another video, of course, about how to interview hairstylists and new talent. So you guys, if you have, I hope this little bit of information has helped you. I hope I've dropped some nuggets down here. So I'm going to add some more to this video. But if you have any questions, any feedback, anything that worked for you that you think might help out, please drop it in the comments below. Please, you guys, start dropping some comments, because that's what's going to help me to know what you need help with. I don't know what you need help with, what kind of advice you need help with, unless you drop it down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for some more videos that's relating to the hair industry, hair salon industry, service industry, yada yada. I'm going to keep putting stuff on here. You guys keep watching, and please give me some thumbs ups and some comments, and please subscribe. I'm going to see you guys soon on my next video. Thanks for watching. Peace and blessings.